came back for a while in the middle there.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And then Omicron happened, and everybody went home again.
Jiggity jig.
Jiggity jig. And now everybody's back. So welcome back, Micah Sargent.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
The two of us today will talk about computers, the internet, home theater, digital photography, smartphones, smartwatches, augmented reality. Actually, we may actually have something to say about augmented reality next weekend. Apple has come forth with an event on Tuesday, the 8th. And what's interesting is the invite. Okay, I'm gonna do that thing, the Kremlinology.
I was wondering if you're going to use that term.
Yeah, maybe these days we don't want to use that anymore, but it's coming back. It's back in vogue.
That's true.
When they in the old days of the Soviet Union, when they would post pictures of the leaders on the podium there during the May Day parade, you would watch very carefully to see who. We do this with Kim Jong-un too, with who was in front, who wasn't, who had been erased, and that was called Kremlinology, because you couldn't get any information from the Kremlin, understanding what was going on, but you could kind of read the tea leaves,
read the signals.
Who had what position on the podium. Well, in this case, we try to read the signals from the Apple invitations, and they're cryptic, they're terse. And I'm pretty sure that Apple knows that and does it on purpose, right? They want us to talk about it.
Some people hold a different idea that the graphic design team knows nothing other than some sort of basic information. And so the two sometimes happen to match up, sometimes don't. But I like to live in a world where there is a little bit of mystique.
You want some hope in the world.
Yeah,
you don't want to have that
fun.
grim, dusty vision of nobody knows nothing.
Exactly. Nobody knows nothing.
Nobody knows
That's
nothing.
not the world I want to live in.
I got to move the vuvuzela. It's blocking your clock. Wait a minute. Hold on a second.
Oh, now I can tell the time.
Now you can tell what time it is. And I can... We have an Apple announcement. So the invitation says peak performance. Now, we're pretty sure we know that they're going to at least announce a new iPhone SE with 5G. And that needs to be updated. It's a couple years old. That's their low-end iPhone. I have the old one right here. And it's cute. I like it, and I recommend it. Although, one of the reasons I really like it is because it has the fingerprint reader.
The phone button,
and the rumor is that won't be the case in the next one. But that's all rumor. We don't know. Speculation, because Apple never says. So, new iPhone SE, low-end. This is the time you'd announce that. We're due for an iPad Air.
iPad Air update, yeah.
And I think that's, the Mini. I love the Mini that they announced last year because it looks more like a Pro. It has a Type-C connector, has squared edges, and I think they might do the same with the iPad Air. But
I think, too, and it's time to update the iPad Air as much as possible while keeping it in that Air price point.
Yes. So if you're in the market for an iPhone or SE or an iPad Air, then you should wait till Tuesday to see what Apple says. The real interesting thing is what else are they going to say? So peak performance, spelled, by the way, P-E-E-K, we'll get to that. Neither the iPhone SE 5G nor a new iPad Air really kind of implies
Peaking
performance. It's not...
That is what made me think that there could be a hint.
So maybe the graphics department knows nothing, but why would they say that?
The marketing department that comes up with the tagline probably knows more.
Right.
And that peak, the performance thing is exactly what made me go, maybe there's more to this. Because
that's got to be an M1 Pro
iPhone SE is not super performance.
Or maybe an M2.
I think that, it's pointing to, it's saying, look at the performance that we're going to see in the next
something performant
devices.
Maybe it's a faster iPad Air, but boy, it doesn't. So I think, again, this is pure Kremlinology because Apple is very tight. They don't tell anybody anything. There's rumor mills and stuff, and but I think that means we're probably going to see a Mac. That's what I'm thinking, performance. But then peak. Now, if it was just fast, it'd be P-E-A-K, like peak, top of the hill.
Yeah.
Top of the line. Number one performance. But it's not. It's P-E-E-K, which is a pun, right?
Yes. And so for you see that as something lens related,
peaking,
eye related,
peaking.
Yeah.
It seems to me. You tell me if I'm overdoing this.
Okay.
I might be pulling this thread.
I'm gonna pull once you go with it. I'm gonna pull in something to do with the Utes after you go. That makes me
good because you're a lot younger than me. So you're actually less than half my age.
Really?
Yeah. It's kind of stunning. because you're an old man in spirit.
In spirit, just not in body.
Just not fun. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yes, peek, P-double-E-K means peering, peeking. So it can have two meanings here. So this really is a double pun.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning
so that
number
looks
one
like
is we're going to have
shit.
a peek at something new. So we're going to take a
Okay,
peek. Let's
yeah.
take a little peek at something new,
Yeah.
which means they might show something that they aren't yet shipping.
Ooh.
But we're going to give you a little peek behind the curtain at something we're working on.
Okay, I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
That's not what I was thinking.
No,
you were gonna
well,
go
that's
with.
part
That
one.
Okay, part one.
Part two, I think you're down with, because part two is we know that the rumors say Mark Gurman, who's a very well-connected rumor monger at Bloomberg, says that Apple this year will announce a VR device, something you put on your eyes, some visor thing. So I'm gonna say that this triple pun, this triple entendre means they're going to show, but not yet offer for sale, an Apple VR thing.
So
Why would
one
they?
more thing.
One more thing. Why would they pre-announce? Sometimes people say, "Well, Apple never pre-announces." They do,
That's not true. Yeah, they do.
and they do it when they have something they've never done before. Not when we're going to pre-announce the next version of, Mac OS. Or
Right.
They announce something where it's such a new device that they want to get people lined up, like the Mac Pro, the trash can Mac Pro when they did that. We want to get people lined up behind it, developers ready. for it.
Developers especially. Yep.
So, wait, that was a long way to go with really nothing.
We got to do what we got to do, right?
There's nothing else to talk about. No, there's plenty to talk about. So, peak performance implies to me both a Mac and a peek at a virtual reality device. I'm just going to put that down, and then Tuesday we'll find out. Next weekend you can say, "Boy, you were really wrong when you said that."
So the first thing that you said actually did give me second thoughts. I thought, okay, there might be more to this, because how I took it was kind of the thing that I hear, as I said, the youths say a lot, which is like, peep this or peep that.
Oh, they do? That's a thing?
Yeah, it's like whenever you're saying peep my new shoes, which
Peep
means
my
look
new
at
shoes.
my new shoes.
But they didn't say peep
They didn't
performance.
say exactly. They didn't say peep.
If they had, I think we'd all be going, "What?
Is it Easter?
What
Where are the
are we
marshmallow
talking about?"
candies?
Well, it is. Okay, you know what? Easter's coming. Maybe it's peeps.
So I just thought it was a more middle ground way of saying that more modern phrase of, hey, check out the performance we're rocking. Check it out.
Peep
And
it.
So
Peep
for that,
this.
yeah, peep
Because
this.
we're on fleek.
And exactly. So with that, it's just look
Word.
at the new
Yeah.
M2 that we're working
I'm
on.
always so behind.
But I would love to see a one more thing.
Yeah. They haven't done a one more thing in a long time. That used to be Steve Jobs' thing, right? He'd
Yeah.
say, "All right, we're going to announce this." Say, "Oh, yeah, fine, thank you." And then Steve says, "Oh, but one more thing.
And then everyone goes,
I want to announce the New World Order." But, has Tim Cook done a one more thing?
he's done at least one.
Okay.
And I can't remember what device it was
Tim
when
Cook's
he
the
did it.
CEO of Apple. And he's not as dynamic and as exciting as
It
Mr.
may have been
Turtleneck,
the
but
charging pad.
yes,
That never came.
something that
That
they
never
never
was.
That's why they shouldn't and don't often announce things ahead of time, because they announced that thing that would charge your phone and your watch and your AirPods, and they never released it. What was it called? Do you remember? Nobody remembers.
Oh
even.
goodness, yeah.
The
At
Power
this
Pad,
point,
AirPad,
Air
Launch
Top.
Pad.
the launch pad. That's what it is.
Something pad, power monger.
That's
Thing.
exactly the
Yeah.
power monger laydown thingy.
Yeah, that's what it was. Anyway, so that's kind of our thing. And Micah is an astute observer of the Apple scene. He hosts our iOS Today show. He's going to be sitting next to me when we do the Mystery Science 3000 thing for the Apple event on Tuesday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. You're going to be there, right?
Yes,
1800
absolutely.
UTC. I don't know.
1800
Maybe you've
UTC.
got your alarm clock set to world time.
I do. So I'm
1800
glad.
UTC. We'll stream that. Apple streams it, and then we stream it at twit.tv/live and hope not to get taken down.
The folks who watch iOS Today can tune in early that day to watch the show, 8 a.m. Pacific instead of 9 a.m.
So
Pacific.
you'll be getting ready. You'll be getting people ready. Then we'll do the thing. You and I will talk while Tim Cook's talking, and then after that we do our Mac show, Mac Weekly. So it's a busy Tuesday coming up. Now the rest of you don't care one bit about any of this stuff. Good, because we're going to take your calls next. 8888 Ask Leo's the phone number. You can talk about anything you want. 888-827-5536, toll free. from anywhere in the U.S. or Canada. Outside that area, use Skype. Leo and Micah, it's the Tech Guy Show. Your call's next.
He actually announced the Apple Watch, Apple Music, iPhone.
They asked the watch ahead of time?
Yeah.
Because that was the first watch, right?
Yeah.
Give me that fine letter.
Make sure it's not
Carefully
arsenic.
typed. Carefully typed. Good day, Leo. Good day, sir, says Jonathan. I am a long-time listener going back to Tech TV days. Over the last few years, I've listened to your Tech Guy podcast each weekend, and that is changing. I recently took the time to complete your annual Twit survey. I was disappointed to find no field for comments to be included, hence the reason for writing this letter. Hence the reason we don't take comments. No, we don't take comments because we get almost 10,000 surveys, and nobody has, ain't nobody got time to read all the comments. So really, the whole point of the survey is so that they can put together sales materials to say, and it was very good. Something like 99% of our audience listens to all or most of every show. Things like that. Ages, demographics, how they listen, stuff like that. So that's why the survey, and I apologize because the survey did leave out a few things like Linux as an operating system. But again, I think the marketing people would think, well, no advertiser cares about that, which is wrong because we have Linode.
I think it was honestly just,
a mistake.
an oversight.
It was a slip, and it was my fault. I take full responsibility because I was supposed to review it.
I mean, I took the survey 8 times, and I had some other
didn't notice
things,
either.
but I didn't notice the Linux thing, and I feel bad.
And the other thing I feel bad about is we have our own social network, Twit Social, and when they asked you what social networks you use, they didn't mention our own dang social network. So anyway, I respect and understand that as an owner and host, you have the absolute right to include the content you choose to. Also to read offensive letters out loud. Listeners have the right to be offended by the things you say or content in your shows. With that in mind, I support your freedom of speech. Well, that's very good of you, Jonathan. Thank you. Twit programs have been tainted by political inferences and commentary, thus negating the enjoyment and escape of your lighthearted tech talk. That's what it is. It's no longer lighthearted tech talk.
Yeah, we're pretty dour.
It hasn't been lighthearted tech talk in ever because, the
tech overlap.
Politic and tech have something to do with each other.
Especially
like President Trump's Truth Social.
That's one example.
That's a tech
Another
story.
Example is how big tech has played a role in the world global politics.
Absolutely. Disinformation.
Yeah.
When I owned my radio station, you owned one, I had every opportunity to put forth my political views. I guess your listeners didn't like it so much because you no longer own it. Yeah. Over recent months, you've effectively pushed away listeners. Well, don't generalize. You don't know, Jonathan. Pushed away you is fine. With differing political views, from the last presidential race to COVID policy to global politics and more.
What? Okay.
He says it should be a pause that refreshes. Yeah.
A pause that refreshes. What does that mean?
I hope that you will accept this letter as positive and make changes to reverse the trend that is dividing our nation.
Oh my God.
Liberals used to mean acceptance and tolerance of different viewpoints. I don't think you can really blame liberals for this, but okay. Okay, fine. Okay.
I think it's really why. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, it's fine. I get letters like that.
Yeah, I've gotten a few
every week or
DMs
so.
and emails.
Yeah, that's fine. It's really okay. I don't mind. You don't have to listen, frankly. Where can you buy the finest chocolate? Asked Chris in Miami, who is a coffee fanatic.
Yeah, I
So,
don't know.
let me-
I just thought I would know.
Let me tell you something.
I'm flattered.
Let me tell you something. The chocolate we had in Oaxaca was quite amazing because the beans are grown right up there in the mountains, and they go up in the small villages, and they get the beans, they bring them down, they grind them, they make them the dooba-doo. And sometimes it's Mexican chocolate. Like that had almonds in it. People probably don't like it with their nuts and stuff like the cinnamon. I know somebody's eating the mamapacha.
Wait, there's a kind with almonds and cinnamon?
Yeah, that's
That
Mexican
sounds
style.
amazing.
Oh,
Oh.
I wondered why we
Now
didn't play this
that-
more for her. This is it. Mama boogie da bobo ho. Kim
Different
Schaefer's
song.
here.
I didn't know you knew the lyrics, Leo.
I'll take
She's
God.
in the club taking your calls. It's not a very busy club, is it? It's kind of
No,
quiet.
it's pretty quiet in here.
Yeah. No, we do have disco lights, but we haven't turned them
There's a
on.
disco ball.
Yeah, no, we have it.
It loses its little mirror things every once in a while.
Do they?
Find them on the floor.
You find little mirrors on the floor? Do you give them to John to glue back in place?
John, I think he's got a jar of them.
Make it a necklace.
We as soon as we get it, John says, as soon as we get an intern, that's job one, is gluing the mirrors back on the ball. Wow.
It's gonna be because it's gonna be like a puzzle. You have to get just the right one.
It's true.
They're not
They're
all the same.
shapes. Yeah. So, my dear friend Kim Sheffer answers the phone when it rings.
Mm-hmm.
Has it ringed? Ringed? Is it ringing?
It has rung.
The phone has rung?
It has ringed.
Is there someone on the phone?
There's a few people on the phone.
Well, who should I talk to?
Well, let's talk to our fine friend Sal up in Ottawa.
Ottawa.
Ottawa, eh?
Don't say that. They hate it when you do that. Of course, you and I both.
I had a grandpa from Buffalo, and he'd had a little bit of a Canadian thing going on.
Buffalo's practically Canada.
Yeah.
It's South Detroit anyway. Thank you, Kim. Hello, Sal from Ottawa. Good to talk to you. Welcome.
Hello, hey, great to talk to you.
You are a francophone. You're not one of them A guys.
No, I am definitely a francophone.
I can tell. Welcome.
Thank you.
Bienvenue. What is going on? Yes.
So I actually have two questions, but before I do, I gotta get something off my chest. I just wanted to say I love you.
Oh man, I love you too, man. Oh.
It's not there. There's nothing you can do about it. I've been following you since the beginning of time, and really,
Thank you,
so.
Thank you.
And today is great. I speak to the phone angel and the tech angel. So.
Yeah, and we got Micah here too, so you get the whole gang.
Yeah, you're spoiling me. I got two questions if we have time. So my first one is this. So I got a setup with 4 LCD monitors, and I still have 2 just collecting dust. And I also have a small mini PC, which I believe has Windows 10. That's
Wait a minute, you want to have 6 monitors? Is that where you're going with this?
No. So my 4 monitors are for my station, but the other monitor, what I wanted to do was create a digital display, kind of like the Nexus 15. So I have a mini PC that's collecting dust as well with Windows 10 and a 21-inch monitor. I want to put it up on the wall and get that digital display where you have like photos, calendars, news, notes.
Yeah.
So I did a bit of research. The only thing that I was able to find was a website called DACboard. It kind of looks like it does what I want to do, and I don't have a problem paying for the software. This is subscription-based. I try to stay away from subscription-based, or at least for something like this.
Here's the thing. Where you're going down the wrong route is you have this NUC, this little Intel Windows machine. So you're looking for a Windows solution. The truth is, a better solution is to buy a $35 Raspberry Pi.
Okay.
Because there is a ton of free open source software that will that will let you kind of glue the Raspberry Pi to the back of the 21-inch monitor, so it's hidden. I mean, it's because it's smaller. It can run in the background, low power. It doesn't need, it doesn't get real hot. So it's really better for this. You don't need such a big fancy thing as that Intel NUC to do that. And you'll find a lot more software. Windows doesn't get in the way of this software. So if that's, there are lots of on Raspberry Pis. There are lots of ways to do this. There's even, I would guess, and I'll have to look, but there's even, I think, an operating system to do this. So I'm looking at Maker.pro and how to create a smart mirror using Raspberry Pi and Magic Mirror. Now, you don't have to make this a mirror. That's what some people like to do, by the way, is put that in the bathroom, and they see the weather and your stuff. You can do that, but you of course can just do it without a mirror. And the required hardware is a Raspberry Pi and a monitor. And you don't have to use a fancy Raspberry Pi. You can even use an older Raspberry Pi. And the software, quite a lot of software, no subscription or anything like that. So the software is Magic Mirror on the Raspberry Pi. So that's one. I mean, that's one of, I would say, dozens of options. This is a very popular project. It was my goal all along. I never got around to doing this in the hall. When you go to a radio station, sometimes they have the hosts, pictures of the host down the hall. I wanted to do Harry Potter style pictures where they look like they're pictures in a frame, but every once in a while it looks at you and winks or wanders off like it.
Oh, nice.
Wouldn't that be cool? And all that would be is the same software basically. Or you could have a slideshow or weather, whatever you want. So yes, I would say much easier to do this. Now I know you want to use that Intel Windows device.
Right.
If you're willing to spend $35 instead, I would say you'd be better off. And in the long run, it'd be cheaper. You wouldn't have to pay a subscription. I don't know if Windows software that'll do this. The problem is,
I've been searching for a while, and I was actually surprised to find the lack of offerings for something like this. I hit that Dashboard website, and other than that, there was nothing.
Yeah.
Like I was actually surprised, and especially today where people are looking for that kind of stuff. I thought there was going to be a whole bunch of offerings.
well, here's another thing you could do. Put Linux on that Intel box, and then run.
Yes, I like Linux.
And, all right, then run Magic Mirror, which is just a Linux app. So, and I'm sure there are many Linux apps to do this, to do display stuff. So I think that's really better. I think it's because of the nature of Windows. They assume it's a commercial project. Maybe you're going to be in a store or something, and so that's why they want to charge you. Try it with Linux. Hey, hang on. You can ask your second question off the air. We got to take a break. Scott Wilkinson, home theater guru, coming up in just a minute. Leo Laporte and Micah Sargent, your tech guys. It's driving you crazy. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Thank you for those very kind words, by the way, Sal. That was very nice.
Yeah, I'm a big fan, Leo. Like I said, I've been following the beginning of time.
Well, if you like Linux, I think Linux is a better choice to do this, to be honest.
Awful.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I'm more familiar with Linux than the Raspberry. Although I heard it's not too
It's just Linux. It's a little Linux computer. It's basically what it is. Yeah.
good to. Yeah, my second question was more of a very quick issue that I had. So I have an Echo Show 5, and in the Alexa app, you can add your calendar. So you click Microsoft Add Your Calendar, and the Echo 5 will show it, which is great. Then what happened was I said, let me see if I can have my work mail address. So I tried it, and obviously they had restrictions, and it just goes to an error page. Now the problem is every time I try to add accounts up in Microsoft, it goes straight to that error page. I have erased the cache, I have erased the data, I uninstalled and reinstalled Alexa on my phone, and no matter what I do, if I try to add a Microsoft calendar, it goes straight to that company error page.
I've never used. There's a certain similarity between the two questions, by the way. The common thing in there is Microsoft. I've never tried to get my I've always used my Google Calendar on my Echo without any problem at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't tried doing it with Outlook. Do you have? So it probably in the Alexa app says sign in your Microsoft account. Does it do that?
Yeah, it goes straight in. So I did one, which was my personal Microsoft Outlook, which went very well. It's working. Then when I tried the work one, obviously they have restrictions. The security said sorry, error.
Yeah.
But now every time I go, it won't give me the option to add another.
I've got an idea, Sal.
Yes.
If you haven't done this, you might try on a computer, on a PC of some sort, launching a private browser and then going to alexa.amazon.com. I don't like to say the word because it triggers everybody's devices and they get upset about it. alexa.amazon.com, and then try doing it from
Do it from the web page instead of
and
the app.
see if that will solve
The
it.
other thing, do you have two-factor turned on your Microsoft account?
Yes. Yeah. I always
So that's another problem that often happens. Two-factor, those programs can't handle two-factor. So what you have to do is generate an app-specific password. Are you doing that?
Yeah.
In other words, instead of using your Microsoft login and Microsoft password,
Yeah.
you use a special password you generate from your Microsoft account that's just for that purpose.
Got it.
Sometimes they call it an app-specific password.
Got it.
And that, I think, could also be the issue if you're using two-factor. Two-factor is absolutely the way to go, but this is exactly where it's a problem because that second factor, the Alexa doesn't have any way of asking you for the second factor.
Right.
The website might, which would be good. The website might use OAuth, send you to the Microsoft site, let you log in there, and then it will come back with a token and it would work. So try the website first, but if not, you can investigate what they call sometimes they call it a app-specific password or a one-time password. And it's tied specifically to that Echo calendar account.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's a couple things to try anyway.
Yeah. Awesome. Great. I really
Awesome,
appreciate
Sal.
it, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a
Take
great day.
care. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, Scotty.
Wow, the
Hey,
background's
Leo.
coming nice. I dig it.
Yeah, he's turned into a hippie.
The boxes are gone.
Indeed.
That's,
Jonathan's
that
gonna
cube's
be
really
so
cool.
upset. Now you're letting hippies on the air?
Yeah, that guy was mad before.
Yeah, wait till he sees this.
You really do have a great laugh. My
Isn't he
goodness.
the best? It's the best.
Thank you.
What is hip? Scott Wilkinson's hip, especially now that he's got his tie-dye shirt and he's in Santa Cruz, California. Hello, Scott Wilkinson, home theater geek. You hippie, you.
This is my Karamazov Brothers T-shirt. By
It's
the
a
way.
beautiful
Remember the
tie-dye.
Karamazovs? You remember the Karamazov
Oh yeah,
brothers?
they're great juggling acts
Yeah.
in San
Well,
Francisco. Yeah.
I was in their band when they first started in Santa Cruz.
Wow.
I'm not gonna get there, but we'll try.
Yep.
Weren't they called the Flying Karamazov
They were
Brothers?
the
Yes.
Flying Karamazov.
And they actually appeared in a few movies and stuff. They were kind of a street performing.
They were. And we
juggling
performed
troupe.
in the street in Santa Cruz.
Yeah.
Passing change. We were busking.
I remember.
And they ended up. They were on the second of the Jewel of the Nile movies.
Romancing the Stone, Jewel of the
Romancing
Nile.
Jewel of the Nile. That was the second one.
Yes, yes.
Right? They were featured in that one. Anyway.
You can
so
search if you're interested. They're really fun and it's talented. And you can search YouTube for Karamazov. And,
Flying
the
Karamazov.
Flying Karamazovs. They have fkb.com. Holy
I don't
cow!
know.
There is
Oh,
a
look
good.
at that.
There is a good domain.
URL,
fkb.com. 50 years of juggling. Oh, their new show is out. 50 years of juggling and cheap theatrics. So, featuring Scott Wilkinson on tuba.
What's he say?
Well, unfortunately not.
FKB. No.
No. Well, when we were all in Santa Cruz, we did do a show called "Everything You Are About to See Is Actually Happening."
So, what's up in home theater these days?
Oh, I actually saw a news item this week that both astonished and horrified me.
Okay. Okay.
It's another example of a music star trying to get into technology. You remember the Pono with Neil Young?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, dig this. Kanye West, now known as Ye, it has released his latest album called Donda 2,
Yeah.
but it's only available on his player that will cost you $200.
So really, the album is $200 in
Correct.
effect. Yeah.
In effect, and you get this player called the STEM player.
Is it a physical player or an app?
It is. It's
Oh,
a
you have to
physical
have a
player.
physical player. Well,
Well, you could go online.
Kanye's
I guess you could
kind
go-
of a character.
He is a character, but I found this device interesting. I don't think it'll go anywhere, but it's conceptually something worth thinking about.
Does it sound better? I mean, that was the idea of the Pono. Neil
Yes,
Young's
it was a
player.
high resolution.
High
audio.
resolution. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think this is that. What this one does is it separates out the music into what are technically called stems. So the bass part is a stem, and the drums are a stem, and the vocals are a stem, and everything else is another stem. This is a technical term that's used more in movies. The dialogue, music, and sound effects are three different stems
Okay.
that are then mixed together.
Okay.
So what this player lets you do is remix the album. You can change the level of the bass versus the drums versus the
It
vocals.
looks like it has 4 different stems on the device.
Correct.
So you can only pick
It's a 4-channel mixer.
4-channel, and so you can turn each up and down individually.
Correct.
That's kind of cool.
By dragging your finger along these little lighted
Does this
tabs.
thing have a headphone jack, or do I have to wear Bluetooth?
It does.
Oh, good.
No, it does.
Goodness.
It does have a headphone jack.
Okay, and it's tiny. It's
tiny. It fits in the palm of your hand.
Yeah. It's like
It's smaller than a little
smaller
carton
than a Chobani yogurt.
Exactly.
carton. Yeah.
Exactly.
$200 is pricey if it's the only album I can ever play on it. But
No. You can actually upload your own music.
Okay, there you go.
And it will get divided into stems that you can then remix. But the real question is, do you really want to remix the music that was labored over for hundreds of hours?
Well,
by
yes.
people who really know what they're
A
doing?
lot of people, I think, I'm not going to speak for the Utes. We have Micah here for that. But a lot
Yes.
of people do that, I think. It's common. You see it on
Sure.
Bandcamp, and people are remixing existing works. In fact, some artists release the tracks so that you can remix them.
That can be flattering, I would think, from an artist, but I don't have time for all of that. I just want to listen
Well,
to music that they
Well, you
One
could, though, right? You don't have to remix it. You can
Yeah,
listen to it
yeah,
as is,
I
right?
like it.
Yeah. But people like Steely Dan, for example. The article I first saw was on Slate by a guy named Jack Hamilton, and he said he uploaded Gaucho, a Steely Dan classic tune, and it got split into stems, and he was able to remix it. But Steely Dan is so careful about its mixing that
You're just old-fashioned. Seriously, you're old-fashioned.
Yeah,
The
you think
modern
so?
world is all about taking existing works of art and remixing
And
them.
messing them up.
TikTok's success, and it's
That's what
major,
TikTok's
is
all about.
built on that,
Yeah.
remixing.
I think that the young people like to do that. I know what you're saying. You don't want to look at the Mona Lisa and then see somebody put a mustache on it. That you know,
Really?
it is what it is. But we're kind of old school, and I think that is one of the things.
Micah may be better tuned into the reality of current.
And
times.
often Kanye has done some cuckoo things, but he's also a great artist, and it may be this is, his fans I think will pay $200. It's an awful lot of money, isn't it?
And there's not even a display on it.
Yeah.
In order to hear see what you're listening to, you have to connect it to a computer.
Yeah.
So as a device, I think it's pretty lacking. To skip.
Do we know what the sound quality is coming out of it?
We
Do
don't.
Don't know anything
We
about
don't.
that, right?
Don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's high res audio or not. It would be interesting if it was.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was interesting the whole concept of remixing an album. And to tell you the truth, I'm not a TikToker, so I didn't realize that was a common thing these days.
Oh, it is in general. In fact, a lot of content is released over the Creative Commons license, which encourages remixing. The theory it's an interesting idea.
It is.
I don't want to be the old guy who says I hate how kids do
Stay
it
off my
these days.
mix, young kids.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see it being a massive commercial success. One of the problems he's going to have, and people mention this, is you're not going to get on the Billboard charts that way.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Radio-
It's the only way you can listen to this album.
Radio stations can't play it,
That's right.
so it's very
It's not
modern.
it's not on streaming. It's not,
Not on any other streaming
any
platform.
other streaming
Although
platform. No.
I kind of simply, there's a lot of artists say, I don't want to be on those streaming platforms. They don't get paid very well by them.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. And one of his points about building this thing is exactly that artists get paid so little
Yeah.
on streaming platforms that he wants an alternative that artists will get more money, and this apparently is that. So
And remember that his style of music, hip hop, really started based on remixing and sampling other people's works.
true enough.
That's a
True
great point,
enough.
and he's really well known for that in general.
Yeah.
That he's a
So Pete Davidson better just watch out because this is coming at you. So it looks like
Yeah.
I can buy it right now.
oh god,
Yeah,
please
looks
don't.
like it.
No, I'm not going to. You don't think I
200
should?
No.
Why not? I have a lot of other junk I never use. Why not get another one?
The man, I just don't.
You don't want to
the guy.
support that? No.
I mean, you can if you want to.
I like his music. I like his music. It's interesting. Let's put
It's
it that way.
interesting. That's why I bring
Yeah,
it up.
it
It's
is.
interesting.
Stemplayer.com if
I
you
hope
want to.
other artists do this. I would love to see other artists make use of the stem.
Well, then it's fragment. Oh, use the stem instead of making their own. You wouldn't want to have to carry 10 different little biscuit-sized
Use the
devices
stem, yeah.
in your pocket just to listen to your favorite artist.
Remix.
Thank you,
right.
Scott. Leo
You
Laporte,
bet.
the tech guy. Our show today brought to you by IT Pro TV. You've heard me talk many times about IT Pro TV. I'm sure I recommend it all the time to people who want to get into the IT industry and want to get those certifications so you can get that first job, or people who are already in the IT industry who want to polish up their skills, recertify, things like that. What I don't talk enough about is the fact that IT Pro TV is also great for teams, for businesses. You should consider it for businesses as well. IT Pro TV, it's basically the best place to go if you want to polish up your IT skills or your team's IT skills. Right now, CCNA time at IT Pro TV. Every month they have a focus. If you're thinking about getting your CCNA cert, which by the way shows that you are an expert in networking fundamentals and IP services and security fundamentals and automation and programmability, you should know IT Pro TV, along with everything else they do, everything else they have classes and skills in everything Cisco. So this is Cisco month, the month of March at IT Pro TV. They're going to do another free weekend, March 19th and 20th. There'll be courses in Cisco CCP routing and switching, which is 100-490, Cisco CCNA 200-301, Cisco Cyber Ops Associate 200-201, Cisco CCNP Enterprise Encore, Cisco CCNP Enterprise NRC, Cisco CCNP Security Score. There's a lot of stuff. SNC